Something very strange and sad has happened with the royal family. A line has been crossed, and I wonder if Meghan Markle is partly responsible. It's royals now playing politics, and that is a no-no. The royals are essentially there to be the umpires, not the players. Plus, of course, they're unelected, so stay out. But now we have a Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle in America. They're playing politics with Markle using her title, the Duchess of Sussex, to write letters to US politicians campaigning for paid parental leave and cold calling even Republican politicians, to their amazement, to lobby for support. She's also accepted an invitation to have dinner with female senators to talk more politics. Now, I don't know whether this political showboating has put pressure on the other royals to show they're activists as well, but suddenly it's as if they're all doing it. It's not just Prince Charles lecturing political leaders on his global warming crusade and even badgering Prime Minister Scott Morrison at the climate summit last week. Prince William is also now a global warming lobbyist. And even the Queen herself gave a speech to world leaders in Glasgow demanding more action to supposedly save the planet.
I, for one, hope that this conference will be one of those rare occasions where everyone will have the chance to rise above the politics of the moment and achieve true statesmanship.
Joining me from London is Brendan O'Neill, political editor of the online magazine Spiked. Brendan, it's great to see you. Now, look, until now, I have been a monarchist because, one, the system wasn't broken, but two, I always thought a republic would just give us another politician's head of state above the elected Prime Minister. Didn't want all the political arguments. But now I see the royal family is being political, and worse, they're unelected. So what's going on?
I think it's really dangerous what's going on, and the monarchy has become a completely politicized organization. I mean, this has been brimming under the surface for a while. Prince Charles has been dipping his toes into political debates for a few decades. And of course, there's the Harry and Meghan phenomenon where they are using their titles to push a political agenda. So it's been going on for a while, but it's really reached a crescendo over COP26. And what we've ended up with is a royal family that is making openly political statements. The problem with that is that in this country, in the UK, we had a civil war and all sorts of constitutional battles to keep the royal family out of politics, to keep them in their place, and to make sure they were decorative rather than political. If that's now being reversed, I think we're going to be in trouble.
Now, Brendan, do you think I'm stretching it a little bit too much, maybe making a scapegoat of Meghan Markle? But is there a connection here between Harry and Meghan playing politics in the US, I mean, really playing politics, just no pretense about it, and now the Queen and Charles and William doing the same in the UK as if they're, as if they feel under pressure to show they're as woke as the other two?
I think there is definitely an element of that. I think Harry and Meghan have upped the ante when it comes to woke royalty and royalty being political. And I think there is now a bit of a competition going on, particularly between William and Harry over who can be the most socially aware royal, virtue signalling royal. There's a real problem there. But what Harry and Meghan are doing, I think, is completely and utterly outrageous. They are using their royal titles as a platform to pursue nakedly political agendas. They're using their titles and their wealth, both of which I think are undeserved because they've left the UK, they've abandoned the ideal of public service, and now they're all about serving themselves. But they're using their titles to pursue their own agendas. And that is really starting to irritate people in Britain who see them as a couple of freeloaders who are making political mileage out of titles that they really shouldn't have at this moment.
Well, I tell you what, Brendan, is quickly turning me into a Republican. So I'll be joining you on the barricades on that one. Brendan, the BBC. It's now dropped former English captain Michael Vaughan from his radio show because a Pakistan-born cricketer has claimed that Vaughan 11 years ago said something racist. Now, what Vaughan allegedly did, and he denies it, is to one day, 11 years ago, look at 3 Pakistani players, this is back in 2009, and then say, there are too many of you lot, we need to do something about it. Now, what exactly was his problem? Was it race? Was it a surfeit of overseas players? I have no idea. He denies saying it anyway. Should the BBC have suspended Michael Vaughan?
No, it shouldn't have. And I find this very worrying. And you can't just suspend someone and punish someone and publicly humiliate them, which is what's happened here, on the basis of an allegation, and one which Vaughan categorically denies. And moreover, something that happened, as you say, 11 years ago. You know, people can misremember things. We don't know the context in which he said those words. We don't even know if he said them. It seems highly unlikely to me that he was making a racist comment. There is no history of racism in things that Vaughan has said. So it doesn't stack up for me at all. And that's not to cast aspersions on the people making the accusations. It's simply to say that we do need to investigate these things thoroughly before we take away someone's TV show or radio show or reputation. So I think the BBC has jumped the gun. They should have stood by Vaughan until more information comes out. And it's part of the new cancel culture, I fear, where people have to be scrapped the minute an accusation is made against them.
It's actually worse than I said, because my maths is terrible. It was 12 years ago. Brendan, we have activists saying Black Lives Matter, Black Pride. Here in Australia, we have our ABC regularly describing people as a proud Indigenous man or a proud Indigenous woman. But now in Britain and Basingstoke, some people have been putting up posters saying it's okay to be white. But police now say they're investigating this as a suspected hate crime. Where's the hate in saying it's okay to be white?
This is a really interesting case, and I've long argued that the further we go down the identity politics road, the more likely it is that we will see white identity politics. It makes perfect sense that if you have a situation where people promote themselves and big themselves up on the basis of their race, as a black man or as a Muslim or as a gay person or whatever else it might be, that you would end up having white pride as well. Now, my view is that all identity politics is nonsense, and we should judge people by their character rather than their colour. Are they a good person? Not where were they born? What skin colour do they have? But this really demonstrates the double standards in this debate. It's fine to have black pride, it's fine to have Indigenous pride, but any white person who says it's okay to have white skin is instantly denounced as a Nazi. The whole thing is incredibly worrying, and I think the sooner we scrap this obsession with race and identity, the better.
Well, I'm going to take a little issue with you. I don't think anyone should take pride in their race, whatever it is, white, black, whatever, because it's not something you ever did. Just take pride in your character. Then we'll be getting somewhere. Brendan O'Neill, thank you so much indeed for your time.